Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead.
大家好，欢迎收看今天的直击美股，我是主持人赵冰晶，在纽约向你问好。Good afternoon, Scott. Only a few days ahead of the big, most intensive election, and we see the S&P is approaching 200-day average. Do you see right now it's a good opportunity to buy back since the fundamentals are not that bad?
Well, we want to see how it reacts there. Okay, if you sell the 8 and 21 day when the market starts to lose momentum, then you have the opportunity to test the 200 day, which is very important because that's what institutions look at for real strength or weakness. If you look here at the S&P cash, you will see, I basically show this chart every single day, and we were hovering above old resistance that turned into support. And if you look right here, every time we went into this trend line, we failed. And then on this day, it really was a day that I went back to tactical because we failed at the 21 day. We were below the 50 day. We closed very weak. High beta tech was not acting well. We closed right around 21.30. So that was my spot to say, you know what, I'm going to just be in cash and try and go back and forth a little bit tactically. And then from there, now here we are near the 200 day. At this point, there's multiple days to the election, so you want to see how do we handle the 200 day. We're hovering around 2094. You know what? Things still feel heavy, so I don't think you could rule out, move even further down towards this 2080, and that could come up pretty soon.
Let's take a look at the technology. Alibaba reported better than expected earnings. They had nice profit, nice move in the stock price earlier this session, but it had a reversal. What caused the reversal?
Well, you need to know the environment. Okay, Google had a great report and they sold all-time highs. Yeah. Amazon has a hole in the chart. They just sold Netflix last week. So in the morning call this morning, I said, if BABA gets to 105, 105.50, I would not be buying it. I'd be looking to either sell it or short it. Because look what's been going on in high beta tech land. Look at Google. Google had a great report. It opened near all-time highs and was sold. Sold down 1, 2, 3 days. So to me, I'm like, why would they buy BABA near highs? Look at, Amazon. Big hole in the chart. It was actually rejected here at the 50-day, which we also talked about, on its way down to bigger support coming in here. So this morning I was like, you know what? I don't really care what BABA reports. You know what? They're probably just going to sell it, and that's exactly what happened. And here you go. This 105.50, which has been resistance, didn't even get there. It was there pre-market, and it closed real weak, a big engulfing bar. So this, to me, now is in the penalty box for a while, so I would probably avoid it.
Facebook just reported the earnings. They reported better than expected earnings, but we saw the after an hour they extended the loss. Is it time to move on to the small tech caps like Yelp, which had a 10% increase in stock price?
I just think that was heavily shorted, and that was a surprise. And as far as Facebook, it's had a big run, and the PE is high, so it had to be great. I know we were on the VTF, and I was like, you know what, I want to hear maybe 125, 130 for Facebook, and then maybe it's buyable. Anything close to, the expectations, it's probably just going to sell because they're selling everything. So with that being said, Facebook was a great report, but they're selling all these high-growth names. And granted, this has come down already, so it's already been discounted. So I would say tomorrow, it'll be worth a look. You have some pretty big support coming across right around here, around this 122. If it's here tomorrow, I'd probably look at it, for a potential buy. You also have a bigger support zone. So anywhere between 120 and 122, I think that'd be a big buy. If it doesn't get down there, then we just have to wait. Okay, we need to see what the market does and see how some of the other high beta tech stocks react, because at this point, this broke this rising channel here, so it could do whatever it wants, especially considering they're selling the other quality names into good reports.
Then let's check out the commodities. Now the wind has changed, a big move into gold, while a big sell-off from crude. What is your playbook for commodities right now?
2 days ago, a lot of guys on the VTF were buying gold and the miners. I bought miners 2 days ago and I sold it yesterday. I still don't love the gold trade. It was a good bounce back, but that to me was all it was. So if you look here at the GDX, which gives you clues why you have to be tactical. Okay, we've talked about how this intermediate trend broke, and that was right here. So if you were playing some kind of bounce back, this was the day that we got long, thinking that maybe you can get a gap fill for a Q trade back to the 50-day, but look how it got rejected. That's a sell signal. We talked about the gap that can get filled in the GLDs. Well, it filled the gap, went to the high end of it, and was sold. So this probably comes in. So this oversold bounce in gold in the miners, I think, is over. And as far as crude's concerned, it's had a bigger pullback than I thought. It's definitely probably oversold here. okay, but it's also a bit broken. No momentum. There's just no momentum in this market right now. I'd rather see, hopefully you covered your shorts here in crude if you happen to be short, and maybe look for some kind of bounce play. That would be a little bit healthier.
All right, that's what we have today.
Yes, and every day things have been changing. You know, you have to figure out when the tides change. A week or two ago, they were selling strength. A week or two ago, good earnings were sold. We are below all moving averages. That means you need to be cautious no matter what the headline says. And then when the composure changes back, we'll see it, we'll recognize it from a better area, and then we'll figure out how to maneuver tactically from there to see if we could, buy in the hole. But as far as long term, if you're our age, Maggie, okay, and you have a 401k, correction could be great because it'll help your average cost for the future. So don't sweat it. Don't get out of the market if you put money in a 401k or 529. But if you trade like we do for Alpha and P&L, you got to know what's going on and you have to know how the flavor of the market feels.
Well, only a few days ahead of the election, you don't want to miss the opportunities. So stay with us.
Exactly.